Hi, this is Shane Davis from Youngstown State University here with Figure It Out Baseball. Today I wanted to elaborate a little bit on my previous video dealing with daily exercises for hip and ankle mobility for catchers. I want to talk a little bit about the importance of that, since I think that a 5-minute video where I'm talking heavily about drills and routines doesn't allow for enough time to really elaborate on the importance for having those things. Like I said in that video, no matter how many drills that you do to work on your hand placement, work on getting your thumb underneath the baseball, you're only going to go so far, and you're going to put yourself behind the 8 ball if you don't have proper hip and ankle mobility. Let's just say that I'm in a primary stance for a catcher. So I've got a good low base, I've got a little bit of flexibility in my hips. I naturally do, based on doing those routines that I talked about. But let's say I get in a primary stance. My goal as a catcher is to present the ball as well to the umpire as I can. You tell me, looking at me straight on, I give a good target here and I've got a ball somewhere out here that might still be a strike. If I'm not able to move a little bit on my ankles and in my hips, I'm making it look like it's further outside than it is by catching it outside the framework of my body, but we're also, as athletes, used to catching everything that we can within our framework. So I'm not saying to get a huge sway, but if I'm able to work to get my butt behind the baseball just a little bit, that's going to help make it easier for me to catch that ball. Same thing to my glove hand side. Instead of going here and just staying outside of my framework, if I'm able to move just a little bit, that's going to help. Low pitches, same thing. I could do all the work that I want to, getting my thumb underneath and either pushing through the ball or thumb up, thumb down to catch. It's going to help if I'm able to sink a little bit to go in and get that baseball. Again, it's all about flexibility. It's all about being able to move. If you think about if you were playing shortstop, if the ball is out here, you're not always going to just stay still. You're going to work to get yourself and get the ball in the middle of your body. We want to do the same thing as a catcher. And like I said in that previous video too, even if I'm a guy that is a one-knee catcher, let's say that low pitch, I've got to be able to sink a little bit to maybe get myself under the ball. Or if it's outside, I've got to have a little bit of flexibility here to be able to move with it. And same thing going this way. I've got to be able to move with it a little bit. And all that requires flexibility within my hips. So again, I'm not talking about getting myself in a position to move 3-4 feet. It's all about getting myself, one, the ability to get low to the ground in my stance, and to move, 3 to 4 inches either way, and be able to sway with my pitch and give myself a little bit of athleticism. The other thing that hip and ankle mobility and flexibility is going to help with is blocking. If I don't have the proper mobility, flexibility in my hips, I'm allowing for a lot of space here, and I end up being very high and very narrow, where if the lower I'm able to get, the wider I'm going to make my body, and that's going to eliminate, one, some of the balls getting outside of my framework, and two, if you're a guy that's always taking balls off your wrists, the lower I can get my body, the more it's going to flare out these elbows and protect my wrists a little bit. Once again, this is something that I felt that I needed to elaborate on a little bit. Hope you enjoyed it and hope it was very informative. This is Shane Davis from Youngstown State University with Figure It Out Baseball. Thanks for joining me.